Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Maroka Pizzeria here, Government Street in Mid-City. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. We don't know where Lane Kiffin is. We know where he's going to be in an hour. He's going to be on the SEC teleconference, where we expect him to say very little about the coaching stuff, but probably plenty about how happy he is, right? That was yesterday, right, Jim?
Talk is cheap, man.
How happy
Signed
he was?
a contract.
Well, but if you're happy, why would you have to sign a contract? Everything's hunky-dory, right?
Look ahead line for the Egg Bowl is 9.5.
What do we think
about
that?
That was a little low. I thought it was certainly going to be double digits. And, I mean, it's only a half a point away. But, I mean, I thought it would be about the 11.5, 12 range. I think there's a little bit of bracing there. I mean, what does Lane Kiffin mean to the point spread in the Egg Bowl if he doesn't play? Maybe if he doesn't coach.
A touchdown?
I'd say that's a little strong. I'd go about 4.
All right.
But I think that's what the line would reflect. I don't even know if the line would reflect that much. I think it might be like 3. But when we can argue, it would have more of an impact. We do that all the time with players that Vegas is stubborn to respond to. But it's can you see it? I mean, do you see where you have a loss? Like, I mean, you go in there, you get, I mean, road game, rivalry, a single-digit line.
Yeah.
Not out of the realm of possibility for you to lose. Okay. He leaves. They lose without their coach. Oh, no. They clearly showed that they are not the team they were with their coach. They drop even further and out of the college football playoff. How would that go down?
Pretty poorly. And you know that you know that the committee absolutely would hold it against Ole Miss if Kiffin's not coaching. They absolutely
2
would.
years ago they kept an undefeated team out,
and it is such crap. I'm sorry. It was crap when they did that to those kids 2 years ago at Florida State. They said, "Hey, without this one guy, you're nothing." And they would be telling Ole Miss that without your coach,
Charlie,
you're nothing.
And
it's not
lose.
fair.
They
man.
lose with him. They're not. They're going to have some stressful moments on Sunday.
No, I agree with you. I just think it's crap.
No. They lose with him.
Yeah, no. I get it.
No. Would crap if they get dressed out? No.
Oh, you mean if he? I mean,
with him.
Yes.
He coaches Ole Miss. He's at Ole Miss on Selection Sunday. No, he's there.
Okay.
They lose against Mississippi State. They're no lock. Did you watch the?
I did. I did. No, you're right.
You lose to
a loss to
Mississippi
State would be damaging. Yeah.
More than losing to Oklahoma, huh?
Yeah,
I know home and away.
Absolutely.
Okay, well.
Yeah. No, you're right. There's a logjam there. I mean, there will be a healthy debate about all of the 2-loss teams, and no, they're not a lock. That would be a bad loss. A bad loss. No,
and what are they? And you're listening to the Arkansas AD is the new explanations. I mean, they're all about the quality of the loss, how bad the losses were.
Yeah.
I mean, they put Notre Dame ahead of Alabama. Both have the same record. Clearly. Okay, I would say Notre Dame's losses are a little less, not quite as bad, not as bad as Alabama's. Okay, but there's no comparison with the wins. It's not a slam. They're the first team in the history of college football to win 4 straight ranked teams.
You know what?
I mean,
that's
and
fair.
at Georgia,
if we want to do best wins against worst losses, I'll do that all day, and I think that's fair.
Well, you do both.
Well, right?
You don't just pick one.
You have to balance it. Like I said, we can have that debate. That's fair. I don't think it's fair if they say, well, if Kiffin leaves you did doesn't count. Okay. Now, but you're saying
they
if he
lose
stays
without him. So I'm saying if they lose, he doesn't coach. They lose. They're not getting in.
I can't tell you you're wrong. I think it would be
because there's a chance. There's a chance. We got to see what the other results are. Okay,
Yeah.
That's obvious. But I would say the way things will probably play out, it's going to be really close if they lose regardless with him. Without him, bro, they're going.
And I don't think that they should count him leaving against them. I know that they will. They did it with Florida State for the quarterback. They'll certainly do it for the head coach. And I think that it was unfair to the Florida State kids when they did that. And I understand what the game would have been. I heard Herb Street's deal and all that, and I respect Herb Street. I just disagreed, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't think that they should have taken that away from all of those kids that had busted it and put that resume up. They did it all together. And, yeah, I realized that they probably would have gotten smoked.
And
I don't think they should
Alabama
have
was
told
a much more formidable opponent for Michigan.
They were.
I mean,
I can't argue that.
We can't argue, but
I just don't think it's
what
fair.
you do on the field is that's. I mean, that's what it is. Yes, I agree. Kalshi, want the Kalshi update?
Yes, and remind everybody what that is because not everybody knows.
It's a little bit of a stock market.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
it's a
all you gotta
legal
say.
stock market. You can bet on the weather to LSU's next coach. Kiffin at 43%, but 43% is almost like 43 cents. Joe Brady, 19. Marcus Freeman, 12. Come on, man. Some are all 14. But the real Kalshi movement was more with the Florida job. And Jed Fish, now Lane Kiffin's at 51%, Kalshi at Florida. That doesn't probability because these don't add up. But Jed Fish, 94%. Somebody invested quite a lick on the Arizona. I'm sorry, Arizona used to be the Arizona coach, now the Washington coach. It was all part of that DeBoer movement. DeBoer went from Washington to Tuscaloosa. Fish went from Tucson to Seattle. Brennan went from San Jose State to Arizona. But 94%, Jed Fish.
Florida alum.
He did not play high school or college football. Grew up in New Jersey. Was an all-state tennis player, but attended the University of Florida. Graduated in 98, that Spurrier era, with the ambition, and graduated in criminology with the ambition of jumping on with Steve Spurrier's staff, which he did as a GA
At the very end of
when he graduated.
at Florida, right? Like the last year or two. Yeah.
And his roommate in college, the most respected general manager in the NFL. So this guy's obviously a football sports junkie that's turned it into it. And he's done he did a hell of a job. And, man, he worked that transfer portal. Man,
He roomed with Howie Roseman.
Remember how bad Howie Roseman
the
for the
Eagles,
Philadelphia
yeah. Okay,
Eagles.
yeah.
Oh, the little pickup for the Dolphins, and he fit right in. I mean, this guy. I mean, the rich get richer, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
he just looks like he's been there for 3 years, huh? He's
Yep.
been there for 3 weeks.
That happens.
But
that happens.
But remember how bad Arizona was when he got that job, and it was kind of out of left field. Now he's worked for 8 different NFL teams, and he was interim coach for a couple of games with the Rams, but then the latest was quarterbacks coach with the Patriots, and they hired him. It was out of left field. I mean, minus a couple of years with the Rams, no West Coast ties. And he goes in there and at Tucson, and he got Fafita and T-Mac, who's having a good year with Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. See that him and Leggett giving Bryce Young a few weapons to work with, and he kind of turned the corner a little bit as far as trying to make a run at this NFL quarterback career thing. But when we may have buried him, in the past, but that would be, DeBoer came from Seattle to the SEC. Fish would too, but Fish is certainly more. He spent a lot more time in this part of the country, or the Gainesville part of the country, than he did out in the West Coast. So he's been out there for a few years now, but he put together a competitive team, not knowing really, not having worked. He kind of gets and is kind of energetic as far as the roster building for these new rules of playing the game.
You get the impression that he is Florida's clear number 2.
Well,
I do. I don't know if you do.
I mean, I would. To me, I would be. Should he be at LSU number 2 for me? You like Drinkwitz, huh?
I don't necessarily like Drinkwitz. I think he's probably ahead of Fish in the pecking order here.
I do. I think
SEC
so too.
ties.
I think so too. Drinkwitz 25 and 23 in the SEC.
Yes.
How many of those 25 conference wins do you think that conference team finished with a winning SEC record? Of the 25.
Of the 25 wins, I'm going to say about 6.
0.
Is it none? Okay. Because I knew his record
Three
against
ties. Tennessee finished 4-4 in 23. South Carolina, they beat them. They finished 4-4 in 22. In the COVID year, LSU finished 5-5. That's his 3.
I screwed the stat up. It was they had winning records when he played them, but not when they finished. There's a few of those, but that finished with winning records. Yes, you're right. It's 0, and that stat's gotten an awful lot of mileage in the last few days as people look at Drinkwitz.
That's hard to do now. By comparison, how many Kiffin? How many Kiffin's got 31 conference wins?
31 and
How
17.
many of his 31 at Ole Miss did those teams finish with winning conference records?
12.
4. The point is, it's not good to have 0, but keep in mind, when we're playing 8 minus the COVID year, minus that game against you, they have to be 5-2.
Yeah, you're talking about top 15-ish
But
teams.
take away your games, Drinkwitz is only 3 that had winning records. Take away the Missouri win there.
And
3.
How many of the games that they lost were they supposed to win? Of the 23 I know you don't have it right in front of you, but of your best guess of the 23 games they've lost, how many do you think they were favored in?
This year, Alabama, Vandy, and A&M, and I mean they should have beat Vandy. Lost quarterback in the middle of the game, but but they were underdog in all those games.
Oh, underdog.
Last year, A&M, Alabama, South Carolina. South Carolina finished what, top 10, top 15? Remember, they just outside the playoff.
They were 9-3.
So they lost all those games.
Yeah,
they were supposed to.
Yeah.
So he kind of beats 23 LSU, Georgia. That's the only conference losses.
And they were supposed to lose both. Look, it was all LSU could do to beat them. That was
Jaden Daniels.
Daniels
right?
got up off the turf. Yeah.
Was LSU favored in that game?
Yeah, they were, but not by a lot. But they were. I'll get it.
You have to look for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. Oh, that was the Major Burns.
Yeah,
cover the spread.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were favored. In 22, Auburn, Georgia, Florida, maybe Kentucky was not. They may have been favored in that one.
Is it fair to say that for the
so he's won most of the games he was supposed to,
and lost
most of the games he was supposed to?
Yeah. How do you feel about that? he'll be supposed to win a lot more games here.
Like the French people, comme ci, comme ça.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
He'll be expected to win. He'll be favored in a lot more games.
You know what it
here.
is? You know what it is, Charlie? It's so Missouri.
It's the blah. Is that what?
I mean, does Missouri get our juices flowing?
No. LSU was a 5-point favorite at Missouri that day.
Go down, Major. Nope.
He did the wrong thing, but it was the right thing for us.
Well, I didn't play the game
for us that day. No. Anyway, I want to do some other resume stuff with you.
Sure.
When we come back, because I can give you. Arguably, and that's what we do here. We debate.
Are you pushing for Napier again?
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to. No, I know it's funny.
I couldn't resist.
I'm trying to get him to North Texas job when Morris.
Summerall. You're pushing for Summerall again.
I'm not pushing anyway. But I'm going to give you the resumes of 5 people.
You're just a Louisiana guy. You love promoting the Louisiana guys.
Yes, arguably better resumes than Lane Kiffin that LSU could hire.
Hey, I'm all about the blind resume.
Okay, we'll do that. We're here at Roca Pizzeria.
You know what you can blindly do is go to goeatconcepts.com,
Yep.
go to the Roca Pizzeria website, and order for the holiday season. That's right. How about I've got it the last 2 years. I mean, it's unbelievable. So pre-order now through 5 p.m. this Sunday. So the ordering, we quit taking orders 5 p.m. Sunday. So we got to order, prepare. I've had it. It's delicious. It is very easy to do online to order, pick up. They're very organized. I mean, in and out in 5 minutes. They've got the refrigerator truck right outside the main entrance. You pull in. So one person has the list. Yep, here it is. The others have the box with your name on it. They find it, and boom, where you go, and they load it up in your car for you as well. So 5 minutes on, and then when you get home, you talk about easy, detailed instructions. It's kind of like sometimes those heating instructions for food. You can't miss it. Oh, it's right around the corner. Can't miss it. No, sometimes they are a little bit complex. It's very, very simple to do so. And guess what? The food is outstanding as well. You could do the bundle, the Roca's holiday table. I mean, you talk about everything there. Whole smoked turkey, 14 to 16 pounds, cornbread dressing, sweet potato casserole, potato au gratin, green bean casserole, cranberry chutney, the herb focaccia bread, turkey gravy, and the Goody Company pecan pie. Feeds 8 to 10. So that's what I had last year. You talk about good, but you can do anything. You can do turkey and pecan pie. You could do the smoked brisket bundle. Pecan smoked whole brisket includes barbecue sauce, creamy horseradish sauce, 2 dozen slider rolls, 6 to 7 pounds post after cook. So it's just go to their website, the Roca Pizzeria website, again, and order online. RocaPizzeria.com and order your holiday food for Thanksgiving. Again, the pickup is available on the day before Thanksgiving on the 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Order, again, this Sunday at 5 p.m. RocaPizzeria.com to order your Thanksgiving fare.
Live at Roca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Also, a new Handycast Up film study with Richard Dixon that is posted on YouTube right now. Michael Van Buren played even better over the last 3 quarters than we thought before we watched this thing again. That's up on YouTube right now. It's all brought to you by Supreme Rice, SupremeRice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers since the 1930s.
Real quick, Kelsey update, too. That fish thing didn't last long. He's back down to 23%. Lane to Florida is 55%. Okay. And at LSU, by comparison, 31%.
The national media is a little bit more pushing
like the stock market
towards Florida, as is Paul Feinbaum, who is kind of opined that he thinks Florida is more in play than LSU. So we'll see. And we're watching along with Lane. All right, I'm going to give you 5 resumes of guys that I think LSU could reasonably hire at, that have arguably better resumes than Lane Kiffin. You ready?
Uh-huh.
One of them and this is arguable whether he has a better resume than Kiffin. Most would probably tell you that he doesn't, okay? Kiffin, for the record, is 19 games over 500. We're doing power conference stuff only, okay?
Oh, power conference.
Power conference records only. 19 games over 500 in a power conference, but no conference championship.
What is the record?
The record is 31-17 in the SEC. Okay.
SEC?
In the SEC.
Okay.
And he was 17-12 at USC, which we're giving him credit for. So that's your 19 games over 500.
Okay.
Okay. The first coach, I'm just going to out him because we've already talked about him.
And these are conference records.
These are conference records.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Power conference records only. Eli Drinkwitz has 0 conference title. He has 1 Coach of the Year award. And he is 2 games over 500 in his time at Missouri. Like I said, it's debatable whether Drinkwitz has a better resume than Kiffin. Most probably would tell you that he doesn't. But he has a Coach of the Year in a major conference, which Kiffin doesn't have, and he is over 500. So Eli Drinkwitz probably, you would say, does not have a better record than Kiffin, even though he's got a Coach of the Year in the SEC award to his credit.
Yeah, but I mean, the one guy coached 48 games, the other 52. One guy's 14 games over 500, the other's 2 over 500. That's clearly better for Kiffin.
All right. The other ones are more fun anyway. This coach has had 3 Power 5 jobs in 2 power conferences. He has won 4 conference titles. He has won 3 major conference Coach of the Year awards, and he has
what's the record?
His winning record in conference is 2 games over 500 for what is a pretty long career.
So to get 3 different jobs,
He's been at
2 games over 500 for all 3 combined?
For all 3 combined, yeah.
Okay. You don't know exactly what that number is?
That number is 84 and 82.
84 and 82, okay.
Yeah.
What league?
Big Ten and the Big Ten and the Big 12. I'm sorry, Big 10, Big 12, and Pac-12.
Big 12 and Pac-12.
Yep. And if you want to, I'm going to have to give this to you because that
doesn't impress me.
That 4 conference titles.
But 2 games over 500.
Okay. I mean, when I give you the name, that's Rich Rodriguez. Okay. And his record at West Virginia the first time was great. His record at Michigan was terrible. He's back at West Virginia, okay? He got his team within 1 eyelash of the national championship game at West Virginia, but he's 62
when they were in the Big
old.
East.
When they were in the Big East, which was a major conference at the time.
Right,
62 years old. All right. Another coach. 3 Power 5 jobs in 2 power conferences. 1-time Coach of the Year, 3 conference championships, and is – well, come back to the pack a little bit, is 2 games over 500 for his conference career.
What's the overall record?
70 and 68.
And all outside the SEC?
Nope, some of this was inside the SEC.
What was the record inside the SEC?
11 and 29.
That's all I need to know, Charlie. And that's what I talk about Rich Rod, too. I love Rich Rod. Rich Rod's good. He's going to win at West Virginia. You inherited a mess. They still won more games than they were expected to this year, but had done it in this league. And that's where Kiffin gets the most juice.
Now, this guy has won 3 Big Ten titles and is currently in the top 25. He is 55 years old.
That's plenty young enough to
3 conference titles, 1 Coach of the Year, coached in the Big Ten and the SEC, 3 jobs.
The conference Coach of the Year you like to throw out there, that's a nice little resume thing. I mean, those could be circumstantial. You don't know what the competition is this year. I mean, you telling me Drinkwitz that 1 year did a better coaching job than Kiffin has done, this year, and he's not going to get Coach of the Year this year.
That is subjective.
It's just a little circumstantial.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out
It's still
there.
a nice little
I'm
piece.
throwing it out there. All right.
But 2 games over 500 for the entire career.
And way under.
And all out. What's that?
And way under in the SEC.
Yeah, and 11-29 in the SEC.
All right, so you don't want to hire Brad Bielema. That's who that is.
You can do worse than Bielema and Rodriguez. I can tell you that.
Okay.
To your point, Bielema and Rodriguez excite me more than Drinkwitz does.
Okay. Let me keep going. This coach has coached has 2 major conference titles, 2-time Coach of the Year, and in power conference play is 16 games over 500, and currently has a team in the top 15 in the country.
16 games over 500
for his career in conference play.
What's the exact record?
The exact record is 90 and 74.
All right, here's the knock on all these guys. You got a lot more than 48 overall. And what that tells you is how are these guys adapting to the new rules of roster building.
Right.
And Bielema, solid. Rodriguez, next year will determine a lot, but he's done pretty good. He's won everywhere he's been, minus where they were split in Michigan, and they damn it, Charlie, he practiced too much.
Yeah,
my goodness.
So this guy I'm giving you is in the top 12 right now in the country. Current top 12 team. Two-time coach of the year.
What conference?
Big 12. 16 games over 500 in his power conference career. For his entire career, it's a lot more.
Willie Fritz.
You're on the right track, but no. For his entire career, he's 37 games over 500 in conference play. He's the same age as Willie Fritz. He's 65.
Yeah, it's from Kansas State.
Nope.
No, he not in the top 15.
No.
I'm
Kyle Whittingham at Utah.
Oh, he's 2 years past retiring.
Yeah, he's
65
years old.
No. Kyle Whittingham, 8 years ago. Give me some of that.
Cool.
But again, these guys. I think Kiffin has proven that he is in this conference where we just saw a guy who had a great resume come in and could not handle the roster building, and his grease down here was too hot.
Okay.
So Kiffin has done it here and has battled Alabama for guys, or had to out discover guys. Turn on some more. Diamonds in the rough a little bit more.
Let me try again. Let me go younger here because all of these guys are older. This guy's probably got the most impressive resume of any of them. 42 games over 500 in 2 power conference leagues. Okay, he has coached in nothing but power conference leagues as a head coach.
What's the overall record?
His overall record is 60-18.
Oh my God!
And he currently has a team that is ranked in the top, let me get this right, top 15, okay? 4 conference titles, 1 coach of the year. And he's a lot younger than these other guys.
4 conference titles.
4 conference titles, major conference titles. 1 coach of the year, 42 games over 500, 2 different power jobs.
What conference is he in now?
He's in the Big Ten. Has a top 15 team right now.
Yeah, we got to go to break. So who is it?
We just hired Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley.
So
he's at it's a ultra resource rich program right now, and
he was in an ultra rich resource program before too. At
yes. He is. He skipped a lot of steps on going to take a mid-major job. And things like that. Don't forget our friends at a Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, what you get when you dial 296-0060. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith, buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title.
Live at Roca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Uh-oh, they let the big dog out.
Boom! Out of nowhere.
It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
Big dog, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well here. We're getting a deluge of rain here for somehow in the desert here. It's been raining a lot. Some strange weather here in Arizona.
What the hell's going on? I watch games in the Coliseum, the Los Angeles Coliseum, and Snapdragon, Charlie. They're playing in puddles.
I've
spent a lot of time in Southern California. I haven't seen I saw one little drizzle.
That's the most rain I've ever seen for a game in the
Yes,
Coliseum.
yeah. So Brucey said, what, 50 years ago?
1970. Yeah.
So, hey, Randy, let's go right to it. Tomorrow night, Thursday night football, and it's the a divisional matchup in the AFC South. And It's the Bills and the Texans. So the Texans, no Stroud in this one. So it'll be the Bills again, +6 at home against the Buffalo Bills, who did. They fell behind by multiple scores, but man, rallied and not only rallied but covered going away against Tampa Bay on Sunday.
Yeah, this line, of course, you got 7-3 versus 5-5 here. This line opened 3.5 and went up to 6. I think this is an overreaction to a Houston team that didn't have a very good effort against Tennessee, but still got a clunker win there. Even though their offensive line is a big issue, especially we've talked about this on the road, but they're a little better at home and they can expose the subpar Buffalo defense here and make this game close. And then, of course, on the other side, you have, Houston's, number 1 or number 2 ranked defense, whichever one you have with them or Denver, against Josh Allen, who's without offensive weapons here. He's down a tight end and a couple wide receivers here. So I see that being a good matchup here for the home team, along with their offensive line being at home, should help this be a close game, if not an outright victory for the Texans.
All right, well, your next one, I think that's what we're definitely hitting on, because with Kansas City's loss on Sunday, the close one at Denver, they are currently out of the playoffs. The team with the lowest, with the worst record of the wild cards in right now is Jacksonville. They got a 1-game lead over Kansas City. Keep in mind that Monday night comeback, but Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, they own the tiebreaker. And then if you look at the schedule much easier for Jacksonville. So Kansas City, it's done trying to play it off their playoff. This team has been how many conference championship games or Super Bowls? It's for 7 in a row. Either one. They've been in the conference championship, maybe in danger of missing out this postseason. A little desperation. I think what you're looking at here, game much more desperate spot for Kansas City at home, -3, -120 against the 8-2 Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, and of course you get a hot team here. I like to go against hot teams off a bye. It seems like sometimes a bye is good for a team, and sometimes it's bad. In this case, I think it's a bad thing for this Colts team. We saw them in a similar spot where they went outside against Pittsburgh, a weaker team like the Steelers, and they got clobbered a little bit in that game. A lot of turnovers, and I could see maybe a similar game here where they don't adjust to the outdoor conditions here. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like there in Kansas City, but this time of year I always got to keep an eye on that. And also, Mahomes, he could get a little healthy here against this Indiana Colts defense. Without Buckner, the big defensive lineman, he's going to be out for a while for Lou Anarumo's defense. So I see some success on the other side to make the Colts press. And when they pressed against the Steelers, of course, we saw sacks and turnovers. So I see that kind of similar game here in Kansas City. So hopefully we can cover the 3 here in this spot.
All right, Dylan Gabriel went down with an injury. So he had played and started about 5 or 6 games for the Browns. It was very competitive. How about Myles Garrett? 4 sacks on Sunday against the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens putting a winning streak together after digging themselves a hole, but he is still in concussion protocol. Nobody played as bad as Shedeur Sanders at quarterback on Sunday, and maybe for the year. 4 of 16 for just 47 yards. That's less than 3 yards per attempt. Throwing a horrendous interception as well. And, Charlie, you know what? Looking at the rush, that's something that, over time you might go into that. And when they say you start looking at the rush, you defeat it this early and forget. Oh, please stop. That's Kevin Stefanski is sabotaging Shedeur Sanders. Yes. every NFL coach is fighting for their job, much less, and he's near the top of coaching for his job. I don't think he's sabotaging anything. But anyway, the Shador fade is real. This thing is on the move, and you're with him, Randy. Maybe we have to get on this quickly. And after an ugly performance by the Raiders on Monday night.
Yeah, I got on it right away when it was, 3 minus 20 on the opener at DraftKings. And now you might have to look at first half. And I think that might even be a better angle to take the minus 2.5 first half in this game. It's still there at DraftKings. This is the ugly matchup of the week here with these two teams. The Raiders haven't been impressive, but they beat these, bad teams. They beat Tennessee. They should have beat the Bears. And I can't even think of their other. They did beat New England. Was a nice win for them, but they beat Tennessee kind of in a similar situation between two ugly teams here, and we're just getting a quarterback that didn't seem like he was ready to even play, ready even to come in. Who knows how much he was practicing or what he was even doing. He didn't even look like he was ready. And we'll see how he is in his first road start. And I like to go against rookies in their first road starts. So, I think Crosby and company will have a lot of success here. And hopefully we can crack this Cleveland defense and cover this number here in the first half and for the game.
The Cleveland Browns so badly, coaching staff so badly did not want to play Shedeur Sanders that they wouldn't. First of all, they went 5 rounds without drafting.
Right.
They drafted another quarterback in front of him. I will forever remain convinced, no matter what they say, that ownership forced this pick. They did not want to play him over Kenny Pickett, who they traded. They did not want to play him over Joe Flacco, who they cut. They did not want to play him over Dylan Gabriel, who was absolutely, I thought, really underwhelming is the nicest way I can put it.
Well, he might not be an NFL quarterback.
Right.
Maybe not even a backup.
And I don't want to pile on Shedeur Sanders. He's having a bad week. The poor man's house got robbed. Okay, but he's being put into a position where he is not ready for this. I mean, this is circumstances that have put him into this situation. This is not what this is not what his coaching staff wanted to do. Times 4. Okay, I mean, it's not just one unfortunate injury that's thrust him into the lineup here. This is ownership meddling at the draft. This is a trade. This is a cut and an injury that has put Shedeur Sanders into the starting lineup.
I'm with you, Randy. How you like where the Ravens are right now and how they're playing with our little AFC future bet that you put us on a few weeks ago?
Yeah, they're playing okay. That was a tough spot going into Cleveland last week. And they got by that one. It was a close game the whole way. Their schedule here is going to be pretty easy for them. They got the Jets, and then they got probably Cincinnati without Burrow. I doubt they'll start Burrow. They're talking like they might start him, but I think that's hogwash. But that should be a couple wins coming up here, and then then they should get ahead of the Steelers, and hopefully they win those matchups, and that should be sitting pretty good. But this team is getting a little bit more healthy, and hopefully Lamar gets a little bit more healthy. You can tell maybe he's still a little banged up because he's not running as much. So I think this bet's looking pretty good.
Did you gain more respect for Seattle in a loss, or with Los Angeles and just the biggest advantage, and that's at quarterback? Because Darnold, I mean, this is a very big game this deep into the season. They're tied, divisional game, tied for the divisional lead. Is he just shown that we really don't trust him in the big spots? Like that Detroit game was huge last year for the number 1 seed. Last year you had the and then the playoff game in Phoenix against the Los Angeles Rams last year. Your thoughts on your takeaways from that Seattle Rams game?
Yeah, just probably a little unlucky for us not getting the cover there with the 2.5. A game as a line on 2 after getting 4 turnovers. A lot of respect for the Seattle defense. This McDonald here, very good defensive coach, and he's trying to work with Darnold. Hopefully maybe in the coming up here doesn't have those turnovers in the future. But until he does, I'll be playing against Seattle in some of these tougher game spots. I think they're going to pick on the inferior teams here pretty easily. They got Tennessee this week, and probably Minnesota. Minnesota always struggles going up there at home. That'd be another pretty good spot for them. So I see them hanging in there, but it's going to be tough for them to beat a team like the Rams or the Eagles or whoever comes out of the NFC North there. Probably Detroit.
It sure looks that way, huh? I mean, he kind of handed the game to the Rams. I mean, it was time and time again. I mean, it was unbelievable because they certainly out. But I mean, in the end, if that ball goes into the end zone, was one yard further, it might be. We can't would say the Rams would have played it different defensively, but still. I mean, the 61-yard field goal was just too far for the attempt for the Seattle place kicker. But, I mean, that was a big one. I mean, Seattle could have stolen that thing after losing the whole damn game.
Yeah, they definitely could have. I mean, they were in a good spot there, and, they just need a little bit more time probably to get in range here. And, of course, the Rams' offense couldn't capitalize on a lot of the turnovers they got. So a lot of credit to Seattle defense.
All right, Randy, follow Randy on Twitter at RR39. Of course, he gives us some add-ons if we had him on Sunday Football Sunday, this Sunday from Caesar Sportsbook down in New Orleans. Randy, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Good luck to you this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, and good luck everybody out there.
All right, don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest branch at the corner of Burbank and Blue Bonnet. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. That's right, our great team of bankers. You can stop on by and see how they can help you with direct your business in any type of business assistance that you'll need. Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Roca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Saints have waived Brandon Cook's mutual agreement to part ways. He's looking to hook on with a contender. Saints signed him to a 2-year, $13 million contract in the offseason. Cooks, who's 32 years old, caught 19 passes for 165 yards and no touchdowns. You know who he caught more passes in, though, Jimmy? Devon Valet, who Mickey Loomis traded a 4th and a 7th-round pick, who has caught 6 passes for 54 yards and a touchdown. And you wonder why we don't like Mickey Loomis? I mean, you have to – I mean, it's like you just want to go beat your head up against a brick wall. Brandon Cooks still has some value to certain teams in the NFL. A veteran wide receiver on a team that's going to the playoffs that maybe needs a little bit of depth, maybe has an injury somewhere. It's not like he can't run anymore. But you're going to put that kind of money into a rebuilding project at 32? Really? I mean, didn't make sense then, doesn't make sense now. Neither does the Valet thing to trade 2 draft choices for him and then – well, now you're having to move people around.
Compromise organization, Charlie. This just in.
I know. Just to get Valet on the field, you had to trade Rashid Shaheed and cut Brandon Cooks. Anyway, I saved it for the short segment, Jimmy.
Miss Gales, buddy.
Yeah, God bless.
Gales, sleep at the wheel.
Sky Rabelais with us when we come back. We'll talk more Lane Kiffin and LSU coaching job. That's next. We're at Roca Pizzeria on Government Street in Mid-City. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Enjoying the finer things in life is his forte. Let's bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate.
And we'll return here at Roca Pizzeria. Happy hour Tuesday through Friday and 2 until 6 p.m. And your Thanksgiving menu still available here, Jimmy. What are you
Holiday
ordering?
table, baby. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Thanksgiving with Roca Pizzeria. Make more time for family and friends and let Roca do the cooking for you this Thanksgiving. Order Roca's Heat and Serve gourmet spread from the fridge to table in under 2 hours. You can entertain hassle-free with either our complete holiday table bundle or our individual smoked meats, classic sides, and desserts. Speaking of that, the holiday table, the complete gourmet spread, whole smoked turkey, 14 to 16 pounds, cornbread dressing, sweet potato casserole, potatoes are, and look, the attention to detail with the sweet potato casserole. The meringue, kind of the marshmallow, like it's like a little tube. You kind of square on like it's like you're doing like a cake or whatever with the frosting. It goes in the freezer, Charlie, till right before you take it out the oven. Pow! Talk about good. Potatoes au gratin, green bean casserole, the cranberry chutney, the herb focaccia bread, turkey gravy, and the Goody Company pecan pie. This is what I had last year over here. Order it online at RocaPizzeria.com before this Sunday. The deadline's Sunday, 5 p.m., and pick it up Wednesday anywhere from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. here at Roca on Government Street.
Scott Rabelais, it is 12 o'clock in the capital city. Do you know where Lane Kiffin is?
He's not here with me yet. I assume he's not at Roca Pizzeria either.
We don't see him if he is. Actually, as we speak, he's on the SEC teleconference, which is his normal time every week. So
I am watching. He's about to come on. The DJ Durkin from Auburn is just on. I'm looking at the screen and it tells you who's speaking. So he's about to come on in just a few minutes. So while we're talking, he might say nothing about his status.
Well, he's got bigger platforms if he wants to make some big announcement than the SEC teleconference. So I'm gonna hold with that. If he says anything, we'll let you know. Scott, we've asked everybody where you think Lane Kiffin will be coaching next year. I suppose we also have to ask where you think Lane Kiffin will be coaching next week, if it'll be in Oxford or somewhere else. So answer either or both of those questions, if you would.
I've been trying, guys, to you ever do this? Like you try to visualize something that you're trying to figure out what's going to happen. You try to visualize it. Who is going to come walking through that door at the first coach's press conference, or going up on the podium when Greg Sankey introduces the LSU coach at SEC Media Days next July in Tampa, Florida? Who is that going to be? And obviously we don't know. But I think as far as Lane Kiffin goes, I think like y'all probably think things have gone too far for him to stay at Ole Miss. And I think I just get a sense that the LSU is a little ahead of Florida right now. And so I would think I will go with that he will be the coach at LSU. I don't feel real confident about it, but I never do in these situations. But I will go with that it will be Lane Kiffin. Yeah. Today,
okay.
At this moment, yes.
Can I ask you why?
Like I said, I don't think you can go back to Ole Miss. Why LSU over Florida? I think I think that he's probably getting, if he's listening to people like Nick Saban and Jimmy Sexton, that's probably the best deal. I think LSU will match what I've been told. LSU is going to be financially competitive with anybody, and it's just they both churned through coaches, but LSU's had more success lately, and it could be like a tiny factor. I mean, like maybe he's going to still keep Austin Thomas as a staff. Maybe he's mad at him and he wouldn't keep him. I don't know for leaving Ole Miss. There's also the Orgeron factor too. Ed Orgeron did it. I like Ed, and Ed's a good. It can be any number of small things, and I can do it if he did it. So he's looking for that chance to have have that legacy job where maybe this is it. I don't know. I'm assuming a lot, but I just think more little things add up in LSU's favor than
I think that the money is comparable at all three jobs. I don't his money. Okay, I don't think that there is a great deal of difference there. I think that the staff money is probably going to be pretty close. I don't think that there's a great deal of difference there. I can't tell you if the player budget that there's a great deal of difference from here to Florida or here to Ole Miss. Ole Miss has spent liberally in the transfer portal. I think LSU will be at the top of the mark on all three of those, his staff and the player budget.
More or
comparable. I think they'll all be close. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. The player budget part.
I think LSU's got to promise him more player budget to move. Why would he move? Why would he move then?
That's true. So it may come down to, and you can win at all three places. Where is he most comfortable? Where does he want to live? Okay. And he's lived in Florida before. I realize he lived in Gainesville before, but his wife has, or his ex-wife has.
Went to high school there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot more time, in Florida than he does in Louisiana. Does that matter to him? I don't know. I don't know what is the one. If Lane Kiffin is told by Nick Saban, hey, if it was me, I'd take this job. Does that matter more to him than his ex-wife or maybe current, reconciled, partner, whatever you want to call it, says, I'd rather live in Florida, okay? His son is a very good high school quarterback, as I understand it. Where is he going to play his last 2 years of high school? All of those things matter. I guess which matters the most, I don't know. That's the tough thing to say. I don't think it's quite gone far enough to not walk it back at Ole Miss. I think if he went in there hat in hand tomorrow, the next day, and said, guys, I've thought about it. I'm all in. This is where I want to be forever. Let's go beat Mississippi State. I think they could make it work, but he'd have to mend some fences over there a little bit. But I don't think it's too far where he can't walk it back. And by the way, Ed Orgeron could end up on the staff if he ended up here.
Sure.
So could Frank Wilson. So could Corey Raymond. I don't think Austin Thomas would. That's just my opinion. I think he would probably move in a different direction in a general manager's job. That's right. We're two hypotheticals down the line here.
I think that's part of LSU's advantage over Florida. His relationship with Frank.
Yeah,
coaches and that are having the confidence. And Frank's only lost one commitment.
I wonder if he spent any time in New Orleans when his dad was the Saints defensive coordinator in 1995. He would have been 20 years old. So if he was in college, obviously. But I wonder if he came to visit. I wonder if they ever went deep sea fishing or something like that. I don't know. While he was living here, because his dad went from there to Tampa Bay to be their defensive coordinator.
Rabs, I think it's more of his. I think it's more of his college mentor, dad, and that's Saban. And it reminds me a little bit of Saban, kind of. And from what I understand, I think Saban has spoken to him about what he thinks of the job. You've heard Lane talk about the Blue Bloods. You talk about all big, bad LSU. He has not talked about Florida in the same breath. And the fact is that, let's face it, Spurrier and Meyer were exceptional. And, Saban's the best, but Miles and Orgeron are not in that same category, okay, wherever you put him. But he, just like Jimbo Fisher, whose last name was not Bowden, but Jimbo didn't make a move without talking to Bobby Bowden first. Tommy certainly didn't make a move before kind of getting the blessing from Bobby. And I feel like there's a little bit of, because on the surface, and I think this is why the Kalshi markets have him more favored to go to Florida than they do to LSU, because the obvious. Layla just didn't go to Florida. Her dad was an All-American quarterback there. He was an assistant coach there. Their first date, reportedly, was in the swamp at Florida Field. She's got some real ties there. I mean, there's no ties to Louisiana, but Saban, it seems like he is advising. And who are you going to listen to? And whether he had a messy departure, and where doesn't he have a messy departure?
Yeah, where's he left nice?
I mean, but I got to believe that he's using Saban as a sounding board on this whole thing. And that helps LSU, in my opinion.
I think it does. And I want to bring up something, guys, that I think is foreign to most of us, the vast majority of us, compared to people who are in the coaching profession, whatever sport it is. I've always thought this about coaching. Y'all can disagree, but this has always been my theory about coaching, that their home is the profession more so than where they're from or where they grew up. And this is a guy who was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. He played quarterback at Fresno State. He's coached all over the country. I mean, literally all over the country, from USC in the West to Tennessee, Florida Atlantic in the East. You can't even work eastern than Florida Atlantic, right? And a lot of places in between. And the profession is home to them. The people they know. Think of Ed Orgeron. He has coached all over the country. He knows, Ed Orgeron knows people in the coaching profession all over the map. And I'm sure it's very similar for Lane Kiffin. And I think what you say does matter. Yeah, is it? I saw somebody say, somebody said, I don't know if Baton Rouge looks very good, driving in from the airport or something like that, for Layla Kiffin or something like that. That's not the most important thing. It's what the profession gives them, what opportunity they have. Like Terry Saban told Nick Saban in 1999, which he came down and had lunch with a friend at TJ Reds and saw his name wasn't on the board of potential candidates that they were considering, that said, the top candidates. And I remember interviewing her. She said, she went back and told Nick, there's tremendous potential there. You can really do what you want to do at a place like LSU. And obviously that made a huge impression on her. So, and they had no ties to this place, obviously zero, because Nick Saban knew that so many NFL players came from Louisiana. Per capita is one of the best, and still is. So I think that's an important thing to remember. So what a Nick Saban says matters, and what the family wants is important too. But I think if Nick Saban is advising him, that is definitely a plus in LSU's favor. And it's the profession. That's where home is, not necessarily Baton Rouge or Oxford or Gainesville or Boca Raton or whatever. It's the profession.
You make a point. I've told this story before, but real quick, Steve Ensminger's daughter has worked for us for a long. She's a friend. I asked her once. I said, "How many places did you live before you graduated from high school?" And she started counting on her fingers. I mean, she's like, "Hang on, here." And I think the number eventually was 8 or 9. So you're right. They do essentially embrace that lifestyle where, yes, you're going to be making new friends and changing addresses every couple of years.
That is only speeding up.
Yes, exactly.
It's just,
even
the contracts are smaller. The life expectancy of a football coach and the other assistant. It is. It's the turnover is. It's not slowing down.
No, it's even worse than it was when she was coming up. Scott, if Lane Kiffin decides to stay at Ole Miss or goes to Florida, what is LSU's? What is the list in your mind? Who's 2? Who's 3? Who's 4? Or you can even do it tiered if you want. If Kiffin's not here, who's next?
I can tell you names that we've heard. Brent Quince is a prominent one. John Summerall. I had a sportsman said, "Don't forget about Brent Key." So it's just one voice, and obviously you people like I was listening to Jacob and Matt talking about this morning about Kenny Dillingham and the potential package deal you could have with him and the Arizona State's quarterback. So I think I think I've always thought Drinkwitz would be I hate to use the word fallback because you rarely so rarely do you get your first choice in these situations. Nick Saban was not Alabama's first choice, as we recall, right? Jay Johnson was not LSU's first choice. Different sports, but still, someone who's obviously been very successful at LSU. So I think those are some of those things. I just hope, I'm about to finish writing this column. I just hope that, obviously, Lane Kiffin dominating it. Clearly, LSU's their top choice. He's LSU's top choice. Same as Florida, same, Ole Miss wants to keep it. I don't think they can I don't think he's the only guy who can win here. I think they can win with other coaching candidates, and you don't have to get hung up just on one name. I think there's going to be a lot of depression or upset or people or down in the dumps if Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss or picks Florida or goes to the New York Giants or whatever. It doesn't come to LSU. And that doesn't have to be the case. It doesn't have to be just him. And I hope people can remember that as this goes forward. Maybe it will be him. And I think 51% to 49%, I would say it's going to be him at this point. But it doesn't have to be. And if it's somebody else, has a chance to be okay because, again, the first choice isn't always the one that comes through in these situations. Very often it doesn't.
You can win. You can win here. The guy that they just fired won here. He was 20 games over 500. They moved him. They moved him out. So you got to yes. you can't just win here. You win 9 games here, you're on the hot seat. You win 8 games, you're fired. Okay, after 2 years. That's the perception of the job right now, and the governor's grandstanding didn't help that any. So the perception is here. You got 2 years to get in the playoff, and if you don't, probably going to be looking somewhere else. Some coaches embrace that. Some of them would say, hey, no thanks. I will tell you that Eli Drinkwitz's agent is Jimmy Sexton, by the way.
His Kalshi stock prices.
One-stop shopping. It makes it a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
Kalshi stock prices. He is favored 78-24 to coach in the Egg Bowl. Okay. He is 58-22 over Jed Fish, favored to be the Florida head coach. Okay. And he's also 31-15. Kiffin, 30, LSU job, 31. Brady, 15. Summerall, 15. Drinkwitz, 12. Favored to be the LSU job.
They won't let that Brady thing go.
He's going to be busy. Yeah. He's going to be busy. So, these are just people bet. Somebody believes it.
I get it.
Somebody bet a little money. So, yeah. I agree with you. But speaking about Drinkwitz, he is the Kalshi favorite to be the Penn State head coach.
Penn State coach. Okay. By the way,
they might have multiple jobs.
Yeah. By the way, Scott, notody has ever used easy and Jimmy Sexton in the same sentence when it comes to hiring coaches. Those are on polar opposite ends of the world.
Is he Signetti's? I think he is Signetti's agent.
I think he's everybody but Donald Trump's agent. It just seems like
Trace Armstrong.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because what is he saying in Lane Kiffin's ear? Obviously, the best deal benefits Jimmy Sexton because he gets a piece of it, right? But I'm not. It's not lost, and it was a long time ago now. It's not lost to the fact that he reached out to Sean Tui, who then reached out to Joe Dean, saying, "Hey, Nick Saban would be interested."
Curt Cignetti proved that you can put a stop to it. You can sign the extension, okay? Lane Kiffin, what does he do when all of this stuff? Some people actually say, well, man, it's a hard decision for him. Well, he's posting on social media and appearing on Pat McAfee's show. He enjoys it.
Yes. Okay. He's done. And Sexton's having a ball.
And this would play great in Baton Rouge if he struggles at all.
And I think Sexton's commission is going to be about the same no matter where he ends up signing. I would love to know who Jimmy Sexton thinks the best job for him is. We're not going to be privy to that information. Scott, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Maybe LSU will have a coach by then, or at least we'll have a better idea where Lane Kiffin will be by that time. All right.
That would be nice. Scott
Rabalais with The Advocate.
All right, don't forget our friends over at Workbox and Workbox Services for all of your portable storage needs. And, man, it's just so much easier than getting that moving van so you can put it, have it delivered to your home where you're moving out of and take your time to load it up. And then we will transport it to your new home. And then you can take your time on unloading it there instead of, man, just jamming it all to try and reduce the amount of time that amount of days that you spend renting that moving van. So they've got and they've got the different shipping containers in all various sizes: 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, and 8x40 feet. Our second office now has allowed us to cover the entire Gulf Coast all the way up to the Lake Charles area. Martine Sr., Martine Jr., Hannah, Brandy, Chris, Brooks, all of our great staff over at Workbox. Workbox and Workbox Services, again, 343-4886, workboxllc.com.
Live at Roca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Wes sizzling last week, a couple of rocking chairs with Notre Dame. Oklahoma, I guess, when they fell behind 1 in the fourth quarter, but they went it outright on the road at Alabama, and then 2-1. And the only loser, Wes, was our most popular pick and my favorite pick, Minnesota, fading those Lucky Bears, but not the case. But excellent job. Again, 2-0 in college, 2-1, 4-1 collectively. Who are we looking at this week in college football?
Yeah, in college football, and thanks for having me on, guys. kind of a really weird slate this week. Doesn't it seem like there's not really a lot of featured matchups really all across the country? My Indiana Hoosiers on a much-needed bye week, by the way, so happy to have that and recuperate. But a couple that I did play, and I'll go one in the SEC, and this is going to be a hold on to whatever you can hold on to take this one. I'm going to fade Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm going to take a 1-9 Charlotte team. I took 45. I still think there's 44 out there. I wonder what Kirby is going to do here and how seriously he's going to treat this game, because I think Georgia's well-positioned to be in the playoff. I don't think there's a sense of urgency to beat Charlotte by 50 or anything like that. And plus, you have Georgia Tech next week. And I know that's been a one-sided rivalry, but all of a sudden you're looking at Georgia Tech, who might be playing in the ACC championship game and very much live for a berth in the college football playoff. So, this might be discretion, the better part of valor, pull starters, get everybody their varsity letter. Certainly, I think if you're playing this in-game, you want to play second half under with these teams, because I think Georgia, we've seen it before, they're just going to run the ball in the second half and probably have a lot of reserves in. So Charlotte plus the points against Georgia. And then another one I'm looking at that I played is minus 13.5. Let's go James Madison, who all of a sudden they're looking at the college football playoff rankings and seeing that the top group of 5 was actually Tulane at 22. And Tulane has been good this year. I think James Madison, though, has been just as good as those American Athletic Conference teams, and they've just been rolling over everybody in the Fun Belt. And they get Washington State, who's still a name program, even though they're kind of a vagabond without a conference right now until next year. But I think they're going to lay it on Washington State. So I laid 13.5 with JMU. And also one more in college football. Let's go with your LSU Tigers minus 21.5 over Western Kentucky. It doesn't look like Nussmeier is going to go based on reports I've been reading, and it's going to be Van Buren. But the finale at night in Baton Rouge this year that, barely got by Arkansas, I think that this is a game where maybe they take out their frustration over what has been a disappointing season, and they take it to Western Kentucky.
All right, LSU. But, James Madison, Washington State, the last 8-day Southern field trip by Washington State, man, they were more than game. Charlie, how about that? They covered the games in Oxford and Charlottesville by combined 44 points. So losing by 3 in Oxford and 2 in Charlottesville against two teams that are, combined really, really good. So James Madison, my point is they're not sneaking up on James Madison here. And then James Madison style points. We'll have to see if these teams kind of in that range, the Miamis, the Notre Dames, James Madison, the Tulane, will they try and lay it on if they can? Why not? Style points, the eyeball test. It does mean something.
I know one thing. With the 9-game SEC schedule coming next year, this should be the last November weekend that we ever have to do this. Western Kentucky, Samford, Charlotte, Eastern Illinois, Mercer, Coastal Carolina, I guess, is okay. But that's some of your SEC opponents this weekend, and this has long been a thorn in the side of, schedule makers where they slide this non-conference game in before a rivalry game or before the end of the season, and it just stinks for fans, in my opinion.
You think? I don't know if it's going to go away because you have to add another conference game and you maintain your Power 4 obligation.
I just don't think it'll be at this point in the schedule. I think all the non-conference games will slide, and maybe a couple, but I think most of these non-conference rental wins will all slide into September, and you won't have room for one in November. We'll see when the conference schedule comes out in a couple of weeks.
We'll see. Wes, any advice to your friends in Oxford that haven't locked up their coach, their coveted coach, and yours is locked up?
Open that checkbook, I guess, is what you're going to have to do down there in the Magnolia State. Because, look, I mean, is Ole Miss going to do any better than Lane Kiffin? I don't think that they are. That's just like Indiana. Like, we're not going to get another Kurt Signetti just all of a sudden. This isn't like a Notre Dame or an Ohio State or, hell, I'd even say an LSU, where you're going to get another good coach at some point that's going to win and going to win big. Okay, when you're Indiana or even to a lesser extent on Ole Miss, there's no guarantee. in terms of that. And I think he's kind of fit there. So, look, I don't know who you would get to replace him, but he's done a pretty good job. And Ole Miss, they're probably, of almost any team, maybe the most comfortably in the college football playoff because they're through the meat of their schedule. They won't. I don't know if they can make the SEC championship game, but even if they do, you know, they're going to be in. They're going to be in that top 12, so they got a comfortable spot right now. And if you want to keep the winning going, he can recruit and bring in talent. I'd open up the checkbook for him.
They're opening up the checkbook. Ask him the same question you asked me, Jimmy. What happens if Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State? Lane Kiffin isn't the coach.
I think if the look-ahead line is only 9.5 in the Egg Bowl in Starkville, it's an 11 a.m. Central kickoff on Black Friday. So it takes a pretty good, you know, a really good spot to kind of doesn't have a whole lot of competition on that Black Friday. They're at 6. I mean, the way they moved Alabama down from 4 to lose to Oklahoma, they lose to Mississippi State, they may be in trouble. And if Lane Kiffin doesn't coach them, Wes, I think the committee has already shown 2 years ago, if you don't have a key player or a key coach, that hurts you more. I think they're out.
They probably could be if they lose the Egg Bowl. You know, I didn't consider that because I think that they should win that game. But Mississippi State's been spry in a lot of these games, so not very easy. And Alabama did get punished pretty big against Oklahoma, and I think part of that is obviously the committee playing some games and trying to keep the television show going week by week and add some intrigue to it. But yeah, I think that they definitely could be out if they lose that game. I don't expect them to, though.
All right, tough spot for you Colts against a desperate Kansas City team in Arrowhead. What's your thoughts on that game and your other NFL picks?
Yeah, and that's one I think I'm going to bet now that it's into 3. You're still laying some juice here, but I think you may see solid 3s here because that's what we've heard on all the NFL talk and chatter shows this week is like, this is the end of the dynasty. And I think that it is from that standpoint of being the top team in the league. And the division is basically a fait accompli at this point. And that Denver more than likely is going to win that division with all the Chargers injuries kind of ramping up. I think they're going downwards in the latter half of the season. But I do think for this 1 week, this could be the rally spot for the Chiefs because now they're being all counted out, even though these guys are pretty content with what they've accomplished in their lives and what's off the football field as well. I think that they show up this week. And you got the Colts coming off a bye. They got some defensive injuries as well. The offensive line issues I think, still may remain from a protection standpoint. And Daniel Jones has been turning the ball over the last couple of games. So we'll see if that bye. But I don't think so. I like the Chiefs here in this spot. And then a couple other NFL plays. You mentioned it at the top, Jimmy. I'm going against the Bears again. They're 7-3, but this is not a 7-3 team. They are very, very fortunate. They are plus 18 in turnover margin over the last 8 games, and now they're playing the team that's kind of the master of winning that way, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, how many times have they been out-yarded and outgained, and all of a sudden they win the turnover battle and they end up winning games that they shouldn't? So I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers there, and then we'll go to Monday night. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers plus 7 at who I thought did better with Brock Purdy last week. The offense did look more explosive, but you were against a banged-up Arizona defense. I think 7's a little rich for Carolina, who's comfortable in this underdog spot. And, you know, they've been spry. They're maybe talking playoffs there in Charlotte. It could be premature, but they're 6-5, certainly right in the mix. So give me the Carolina Panthers on Monday night plus the touchdown.
Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Carolina. Follow us on Twitter at WesReynolds1. Wes, great stuff, man. The teams are still rolling along, man. We will talk to you next week. We appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Good to be with you guys. Thank you.
All right. Don't forget our friends over at Roca Pizzeria. It's, again, holiday season. I mean, get the order Thanksgiving affair here from Roca. Now, the deadline is this Sunday at 5 p.m. Go to RocaPizzeria.com. So allows you to make more time for your family and friends if you allow Roca to do the cooking for you. Heat and serve, gourmet spread from the fridge to table in under 2 hours. You entertain hassle-free with our complete holiday table bundle or individual smoked meats, classic sides, and desserts. Again, now a pre-order is available now on the website, rocapizzeria.com, till 5 p.m. on Sunday. Now, pick up. It'll be cold packaged and ready-made. I've had it the last couple of Thanksgivings. Easy instructions. I mean, really, really easy to do. You reheat it, and, man, you talk about delicious as well. So while supplies last, we have limited stuff, but you could do the Roca's holiday table with the turkey and all the sides and the pecan pie and the focaccia bread. You could do turkey or a la carte, any of the turkeys, pecan pies, or sides a la carte. And then don't forget also the smoked brisket bundle, which is a pecan smoked whole brisket, includes barbecue sauce, creamy horseradish sauce, 2 dozen slider rolls, 6 to 7 pounds after we cook it. So, again, rocapizzeria.com. Thanksgiving. Get your orders in this Sunday, by this Sunday at 5 p.m., and the pickup will be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, November 26th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Live at Roca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau store, along with the Pierreport store, and now in Lockport and LaRose. You know what? Their Black Friday specials are already up on the website. If you're looking for gifts for this holiday season, tools for the season, tons of deals on power tools. If you're shopping for dad or your husband, your brother, tools for the season right now. Black Friday deals at thethibodeaustore.com to get you to all 4 of the properties from that one website. Same-day pickup on pretty much any item. Delivery available on a number of these items. Also, your indoor and outdoor security cameras and your security locks are available right now. It's something else that is on special. But shop for yourself at thethibodeaustore.com or head down 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux or Highway 70 in Pierreport.
You got an outdoor chef, and it's not just strictly guys, Charlie. Ladies like to do outdoor cooking as well. They can grill. They're allowed, okay? So, but if you have someone who likes to grill, do on-site cooking, tailgating, things like that, man, there is something at these stores, where there's Thibodeau store, the Pierreport store, Lockport or LaRose stores. There's something for all price points for the holiday season. So you want to get something cool. Not the tie, not the socks, not the book. I mean, not a whiskey. Yeah. Well, whiskey maybe. Well, but anyway. But you know what I mean? Something different. I mean, man, you go down there. I mean, you could get as elaborate as you want to get, and you could get something, just a few, kind of little gadgets and mitts and spatulas and spoons and whatever. If you got to cook in your house, man, it's a great, great gift idea this holiday season. So are we in holiday season already? I saw that.
We've been in holiday. We've been in holiday season for okay. From a music and shopping standpoint.
Yes,
you walk into the grocery store and the Christmas stuff's out. So you're Jimmy Sexton today. Is the optimum thing for you today to be able to place Lane Kiffin at either LSU or Florida? To be able to place Eli Drinkwitz at whichever one Kiffin doesn't take, to be able to place John Sumrall at either Auburn or Ole Miss, whichever one is his choice, and then take another one of your up-and-coming clients and put them at the one that Sumrall doesn't take, plus Missouri. Because when we started this back in August, Jimmy Sexton – according to what I read, and I haven't been able to confirm, he represented 14 of the 16 SEC coaches when we started the season. Brian Kelly was one of the ones that he didn't. And I don't know who the other one is. I know that's what you're going to ask me, but I don't know that. But they said he represented 14 out of 16 when we started this season. Now he's lost Hugh Freeze, who's been fired, but he essentially controls the whole damn network. Not just any one or
Always
two
has.
jobs.
He's done it for a long time.
Yes, he has.
This is nothing new.
But when you hear it, 14 out of 16.
Okay, well, just mark it down. Last year, all 16, kept their coaches.
Right.
Ain't gonna happen a whole lot. So you have an extra avalanche in the SEC, kind of built up by the inactivity from last year. If I'm Sexton, maxing out, and I got my green meter on, Drinkwitz to Penn State. That opens up the Missouri job. He's going to get a great deal at Penn State. Summerall to Auburn, big time move up. Got that one. And Tulane job is not terrible either. As far as a G6, G6. I mean, these two guys have left it in much better shape than it was.
Inside track to the playoffs.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. They deserve it. I mean, get Lane out of Ole Miss, open that up because Ole Miss that job is better. So and it's a two-way street. The Ole Miss support, the new support, and Kiffin have both made it a better job.
Yeah. Same money at Florida, LSU, so either one, right?
And
as far as Sexton's concerned,
I would think that Florida. I think to max him out his deal, Kiffin to Florida.
Okay.
Because I think this job, standing on its own without any type of is a more attractive job than Florida. Because Florida has proven, you get the right guy, you can win. LSU has shown that, well, not necessarily the right guy. Now, the rules have changed. I get that. But LSU has consistently, and we heard Brian Edwards, a Florida alum, tell us that, they're trying to move along. They're catching up for lost time, but for a long time they sat on their hands and didn't think they had to build up their their facilities and their support like LSU. So LSU's paid their coaches, their assistant coaches, their player budget, and their facilities. There've been more commitment at LSU, and they've won with multiple coaches of all skill level.
So if Lane Kiffin came out tomorrow,
and then LSU would be more attractive. So I can get another job, somebody else in for LSU.
If Lane Kiffin decided tomorrow, said, "I'm staying at Ole Miss, Florida and LSU, thank you, but I'm and Eli Drinkwitz became the number one target, and I know that rankles a lot of people. He does not. People I talk to, monitors, he does not inspire a whole lot of confidence. Okay, despite his record, but if he was the number one choice of both LSU and Florida,
the record's okay.
Right? Okay, well.
It's not great. It's 27-25.
He's still in Missouri. He's trying to
but
win.
Missouri's an easier place to win than in Kentucky.
You betting on the come a little bit with him. Yes, I get it. Okay. He would, if you don't have the Florida influence with the family and having lived there before, Drinkwitz, who's from Arkansas, would take LSU over Florida. Yes?
I think most would.
Okay, but Kiffin having the ties here.
Yeah, that's what makes it a much tougher situation, decision, and tougher for LSU. There's some things. Another thing is, he's going to get paid a lot of no income tax in Florida.
Right.
There's everything builds up. They're weighing it.
Sure.
As he's reading his little proverbs, or his little get up book, whatever he does, in the morning he likes to spend on social media. Everything is weighed in.
I gotta laugh. I gotta laugh at that. The little proverbs book.
Day 224 or whatever.
Yes, that's what I was gonna do. Tomorrow's day 225. The area code is 225. You want to talk about just grabbing on the
225
at this point? Yeah, he's gonna go to 225 the day of 225.
Let me grab onto something. We don't like to try and get into his head too much. It's dangerous territory. But his stance, I don't think the ultimatum or the conversation, maybe ultimatum, and I used the same word earlier, and I was sort of corrected. So, well, it wasn't an ultimatum. Well, whatever. Nobody just dreamed that up, okay?
No.
We know that Ole Miss wants to freaking know if you're going to coach the damn Egg Bowl or not.
Carter didn't tell him this or else. He's like, please let me know. Okay. They're cordial.
And Carter didn't come out and say, no, no, Lane is absolutely right. We didn't hear from him. Double down on this, huh? There's no ultimate. Okay. So is he buying himself time to coach that game? And then make his move, which he could easily do.
Maybe, but I think he can keep Ole Miss on the hoof until the Egg Bowl. I don't know if he can keep Florida and LSU on the hoof. I think one or both of those schools might move on if he decides to leave. Take it that long.
Like 2 days ago, 2 weeks. Okay, right? The December 1st. That's the target. That kind of the finish line. They got to know. So you really putting yourself up. Now they play on a Friday. So you got Saturday and
Buys you an
Sunday.
extra day,
I
yeah.
do remember that the Riley and Kelly thing was done pretty quickly on a Sunday after a Saturday. Not even a Saturday.
The Ogeron thing after your boy
that was
Texas.
on Saturday. That was Ohio State Michigan game.
Tom Herman.
Yes, I'm still killing Cobble for cutting out of the Michigan Ohio State game to give me the damn
Cobble.
Joe Oliva. Talking about Bebe.
Give Cobble a little bit of a break, man. He spent
I
most
know
of his
he's
week at the
good.
airport.
My bad.
He spent most of his week
Let me
at
just
the
jab
airport.
him a little bit.
Oh gosh, we're brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff have helped us out, man. Back pain, neck pain, muscle soreness, things that are keeping you from getting around or getting a good night's sleep. Let them help you. Target those problem areas and get you to feeling better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Back to wrap it up here at Roca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Frank Wilson clarifying status on Garrett Nussmeier on the SEC teleconference, calling him doubtful for this week's game. And Michael Van Buren last night meeting with local media said that he wants to stay through the coaching change, wants to be here next year. So I thought that was an interesting statement, that not a, well, I need to wait and see. Well, no, I want to be here. Jimmy, we watched that film last night again. If you want to go watch it, some of the plays we highlighted. And we didn't use a whole lot from the first quarter because he was just sailing balls. There's not a whole lot of film to break down there.
But Burke was a little poor early.
But when he settled in, you can go watch it, Handicast Film Study on YouTube. He really played well. He made some very nice throws and some very nice decisions.
After that start, I was a little nervous.
Yeah. No,
I'm like, just run it in. Oh, and he threw it when he threw it to Sharp for the touchdown. I mean, it was just the right play, but I was a little nervous. I was almost like just kind of running in. So, and I thought Mike Delicano did a great job explaining that because he can move doesn't make him a great runner on the move, but it just seemed like all the rough stuff, all the ugly stuff was early. It's his first start.
Yeah,
his first start. Speaking of sticking around, it should be a real warm reception no matter how it's played out for Garrett Nussmeier on Saturday night for senior night.
I certainly hope so.
I expect so.
I expect that, too.
I expect that.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Thanks to the folks here at Roca Pizzeria for being our host. Tomorrow we are at the original Walk-Ons, corner of Burbank and Nicholson. Hope that you can make it in your plans to be with us tomorrow. From all of us here at Roca and Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.